had a really interesting finish to today's game against Hikaru. How are you feeling about that?
Well, I thought it was a really nice game up to a point, and then of course my technique that really at the end of someone was just, I mean, it was like another one-move blunder, but also in the Blitz game I made a one-move blunder. I just like missed it by 6 points and he enveloped me. And also here, it's just like I didn't even see that king g4 was available to square for his king, so I just thought the game's over. And then the king goes to g4 and I realized that it's a draw. So yeah, it was like a total blind spot. Unfortunately, it kind of spoiled what would have been like a very clean win, like a really excellent play game up until that point. And yeah, then I tricked by some stage. And it remained a bit tricky for him, but of course it was definitely a draw, and I think too difficult if he hadn't chosen the right path. But yeah, he went down the path where he probably thought it was a draw, but at the end, you know, my pawn goes to g2, my king goes to f4, and I just dominated his rook. But overall, of course, I'm happy with the result.
And did you find it challenging to kind of adjust, having just played this freestyle event, Fisher Random, switching back to normal chess? Is it hard to make that adjustment?
Yeah, now we played so many different formats, it's kind of strange. You always have to adjust to a different time control, a different tournament format, even a different starting position, which is, yeah, definitely to be playing an entirely different type of chess where openings don't matter, and I'm going back to kind of classical, but also with like some rapid blitz thrown in. I thought it was very difficult to play the blitz game first because you're not warmed up whatsoever. If you play like a long classical game, you can you can warm up throughout the game without making major mistakes, but in the blitz game you're just kind of thrown into it. First game is a blitz game, and yeah, that like I thought it was very rusty, and probably he was also very rusty for the blitz game because it's really disorienting to just go straight into it. I think maybe if we switched around, we would have kind of built up to it a bit better.
And do you have difficulty adjusting from like blitz to rapid to semi-classical? So usually most events don't feature that.
Yeah, I think this time control, like semi-classical, is the most interesting because it feels like a long game, but you can't really approach it the same way as you would a standard game like 90+3, especially with increment being less, because once you get to time trouble, it's much less forgiving. And we had this in another tournament years ago in Norway, where we had like a 10-second increment. So we're kind of spending all your time at the start, then you go all the time in the world, then you get down to a 10-second increment with just time control, and you can never beat again. And so really, like time management and this semi-classical game is very, very important.
And did you do any specific preparation for this event or for your opponents in this event, or not so much?
I was looking at the guys a bit and what they're kind of playing recently. With Hikaru, it's very difficult because he doesn't play classical too often. And in Blitz, which is where he plays an enormous amount of chess, he has a very varied repertoire and doesn't have like a very clear thing that he's going for. But some of the other players are very stable in their repertoires. For example, Wesley has a very stable repertoire. Ray also, who I think I'll play in the European Cup. So there was some kind of like also thinking about the next event, and a lot of the players here are also the same there. So I have to potentially prepare also for what I might want to say for the next event as well. So it's an interesting format where, especially semi-classical, time management is playing a huge factor. And I think also he doesn't feel much pressure because it's kind of an event where we're playing for the money per game, but it's not like a qualification event where we're playing for a big trophy. So definitely the lack of pressure I think also plays to his strengths a bit because he can kind of relax and play his usual, just like very high level. So I do expect quite a tough match, but nobody's easy here.
Okay, well, looking forward to tomorrow. Best of luck, and we'll send you back to the studio. All right, thanks, Bobby.